Hi, so I'm Cheryl Jones. I'm a jewelry designer and I have a retail space on 47th Street in the heart of the Diamond District in New York City. And I'm here with Amber Michelle. And Amber Michelle is one of my oldest and dearest friends in the industry. I met her when she was the editor in chief of Rapaport Magazine, which is the diamond trade publication. And we worked together and she inspired me in so many ways at the early onset of my business. And I thought today we would chat about engagement rings and the value of engagement rings. So Amber, how's it going?
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for your very kind words. All is well. All things considered, all is well.
Right, I hear you. So today I thought we would talk about engagement rings and value. And one of the big things that I think people have been discussing in our industry are the value of diamonds, right? Because a lot of people use diamonds in engagement rings. And it's really become sort of a big topic in terms of natural diamonds versus man-made diamonds. What are your thoughts about the value of that in an engagement ring?
Well, first, I think that everybody should be able to make the choice of what they want in a diamond based on their budget, based on their values, those sorts of things. So I think if you want a lab created or man-made diamond, that's perfectly okay. And if you would prefer to have a natural mined diamond, that's also okay. Price-wise, you're going to find a fairly big differentiation. The lab created or man-made diamonds are going to be much, much less expensive than the diamonds that come out of the earth.
Right. And that kind of like gets to the point where a lot of my customers will say to me, well, what's the difference? Like, should I just go ahead and, use a man-made diamond or a lab-created diamond because it's going to be cheaper and I'll be able to get like a bigger look with it. I'll be able to get a 2 carat stone or whatever. And the thing that I think that I'm grasping and have a hard time figuring out how to answer in terms of value is with technology, the availability and the price are going to be the big drivers in that market. So 10 years from now, or not even that long, to me, you would have the opportunity to have that same 2 carat, but it would be a lot cheaper because technology is driving that market. So the faster and the easier that they are able to make those, the more they're on the market and the less the price is going to be. That's sort of like how I see it. But I also feel like, and we're two ladies that love gemstones and diamonds and the natural feeling of those. And so for me, it's just the idea of something so raw and in its original form and something so special and precious and the light and the scintillation and all those things that you see when you view a natural diamond.
Well, if you put a lab created or man-made diamond in front of me and you put a natural diamond in front of me and you said which is which, I'm not totally sure I would be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
With the naked eye and just a regular 10 times loop, you really probably can't tell the difference.
Right.
To distinguish that difference, it would need to go to a lab and be examined with all of their high-tech equipment.
Yeah.
They could,
Mm-hmm.
because there would be markers and indicators that it was a man-made diamond.
Right.
And indicators that it's a mined diamond. I think the big difference is, I think you're absolutely right on track by saying that as technology advances and more of these man-made diamonds are created, that will drive the price down. On the other side of that coin is the fact that mined diamonds are a finite resource. And
Right.
the mines are starting to dry up. The discovery of new mines is slowing down. And consequently, that will make the natural diamonds that are from the earth become more valuable just because of the supply and demand of the whole situation. So
Right.
in 10 years, what do you have? Do you have a man-made diamond that's worth something, or do you have a natural diamond that's worth something? Probably more, because in 10 years, there may be less supply of natural diamonds than there are right now, and more
Right.
supply of man-made diamonds.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, is really when somebody's buying a diamond, in our culture, a diamond ring, a diamond engagement ring is a cultural imperative. People expect to get a diamond ring when they
Yeah.
get married. But nobody ever said it has to be a natural diamond or a man-made diamond.
Right.
Again, the chemical composition of a man-made diamond is equivalent to the chemical composition of a diamond that comes out of the ground.
Exactly.
The
Lab
main,
created. Mm-hmm.
main difference is that one has spent billions of
Right.
years high pressure
Okay.
temperature conditions and gotten itself squashed from this little nubby coal thing into this
Right.
diamond. Whereas in a man-made diamond, they subject the nucleus or the starter of the diamond to the same kind of high temperature and high pressure, but it happens in a matter of weeks.
Right.
What I have found, and this is slightly taking a turn off the subject, is the whole issue of environmentalism.
Hmm.
And the one thing that I'm going to say right here and now is that it is definitely not environmentally friendly to be digging a gigantic hole in the ground. Now, some mines go back, and miners, when the mine has run its life and is tapped out and no longer producing stones, they go back and they reclaim, they fill in the hole. And we're not talking about a hole here. I'm talking about something that's
Yeah.
miles.
This is huge and deep. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking a little hole like you dig in your backyard to plant flower bulbs.
Right. Right.
About something really massive. But they have been known, and in certain instances, for like the Argyle mine in Australia, for example, when that mine is done, then the mining company that runs it, which is Rio Tinto, has an agreement between the people who own the mine, the indigenous people who actually own that piece of property, and the government, that they will go back and reclaim that land. So they'll go back and they'll fill in this gigantic hole,
Wow.
repurpose it so that it can be used as viable land again. Now,
Wow.
side of the coin, you have the man-made diamonds. Now, in order to make one of those diamonds, it takes a lot of electricity to
That's
create.
what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm.
You have a pretty big carbon footprint from those, which nobody's really saying anything.
Talking about.
However, it hasn't been, the man-made diamonds haven't been on the market as long, and there may be some shifts in the equipment that can reduce that. I don't know that yet. But right now, as far as if you want to give the environmental argument, it's really a wash, because they're
Right.
for the environment.
Right. That's a really good point, Amber. Yeah, very, very good point. The other thing I wanted to talk, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I did, because if you want to talk about the human factor and the
Uh-huh.
people actually out there mining the diamonds or making the diamonds, you could potentially eliminate some human rights abuses of artisanal miners who are just out there. An artisanal miner, for people who don't know, is someone who goes into a river, and generally a really horrible swampy
Right.
river, and they have a screen pan and they sift through the rocks until they find diamonds.
Right.
Miners are often very exploited.
Right.
And they make very little money. They're working for somebody who maybe pays them a cup of rice a day or $1 a day. If
Right. Fine. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then if they find something, the sponsor takes off with the diamond, gives them maybe a few more dollars, and then goes and sells it for the gazillion dollars that they feel it's worth.
Exactly.
Will eliminate that issue if you go with a man-made diamond.
Mm-hmm.
If you go with a man-made diamond and you don't continue to do the natural diamonds, and these artisanal miners suddenly have no work, they
This
have
is
lost
it.
the only thing that they had, their cup of rice a day that fed their family,
That's right.
any pittance of money they got. So then they are really completely and totally out.
Yep.
So it's a very tough decision as to where you want to go with that from a human rights point of view.
I agree. I agree. And I think that somehow there's got to be a balance, right? In terms of supplying, creating a market, a sustainable market for people who need to be able to feed their families and work, but also get a fair shake at the table and be able to be at that point in the distribution channel that they can get and earn as much money from their labor like everyone else, instead of being exploited. So I think that's a big issue too.
That's exactly right. And it is a big issue, and one that has been grappled with within the industry for quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about moving on to gemstones? Because I think that gemstones, especially like sapphires, have become really popular with people as an alternative to a traditional diamond in an engagement ring.
I think that's completely fine. I think a sapphire, a colored diamond, a ruby, whatever stone somebody wants to express their own personal style and personality and their unique love story is fabulous. I think that's a wonderful thing, to really use the colored gemstones as an expression of your own personality. The one word of caution I would give is not all colored gemstones are created equal.
Yeah.
So, for example, sapphires are a great choice because they're very hard stones and they will stand up to a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Whereas emerald may not be as good of a choice because they are a more delicate stone. And if you accidentally hit it against something, you do run the risk of it breaking or cracking. You
Right.
won't necessarily have that problem with a ruby or a sapphire. So that's something to take into consideration when selecting the gemstone to use. If it's
Yeah.
something that you're going to wear every day for the rest of your life, or at
Yeah.
least for many years.
Right, right. Well, I think that's a great point. And also, when I'm working with my customers, they're always really excited that sapphires come in so many different shades. Like, people don't realize that sapphires just aren't blue. They're purple, they're pink, they're blush, they're, just this enormous range. There's an enormous range of color. And once you open yourself up to that, then you can really kind of, I believe, tailor it to a person's personality. It's like beautiful shades of green and sort of like steely gray blue.
That is absolutely a fact. Sapphires come in just a rainbow of colors, and you can pick something that will express your personality. And just because it says it's a pink sapphire, well, you could have a sapphire that's a lovely, wonderful pastel powder puff kind of a pink, or you could have a pink sapphire that's more like a magenta and just
Yeah,
wild in its color. So it
yeah,
gives you a lot of options, and
yeah.
it's fun to have those options.
Agreed, agreed. So I think also, in terms of value for sapphires, without getting too much in the weeds, region or location of origin is also kind of like key in terms of that value piece that we were talking about, and heated versus unheated, right?
Makes a huge difference. Origins of a gemstone seems to be very important with colored gemstones. So for example, since we're discussing sapphires, if you were lucky enough to find a cashmere sapphire,
Aren't those spectacular?
spectacular, it's going to be unbelievably expensive because the mines in Kashmir are no longer producing stones, and they haven't
Right.
for decades. So that's really a treasure and a treat. And if you're lucky enough to have it and you've got the funds for it, by all means, go for it. Otherwise, there's beautiful sapphires that come out of other places that also are very pretty and have the same composition. They just have a slightly different color. And the difference in the color comes from the trace elements from each location where the
Right.
are formed.
Right. Sri Lanka, Ceylon sapphires are obviously very valuable, and they're known for their beautiful color. Also, Burma, you have beautiful sapphires from Myanmar, right? Not Burma. But yeah, I mean, all of these regions produce these spectacular sapphires.
They do. And they don't, as you have pointed out, they're not always blue. So
Hmm.
kind of fun too. Maybe you've gone someplace and you have a connection to a place and a sapphire happens to come from there. Did you know that well, I'm sure you know this, but there's also sapphires mined in Montana.
Yes, and they're beautiful. In fact, I had one. It's sort of like this spectacular blue green, gorgeous, gorgeous colors coming from Montana. And by the way, Africa as well.
That's
Nigeria has beautiful sapphires.
Madagascar as well.
Yeah,
You had a certain affinity for a place that you maybe wanted to go to or that you've been to or you really admire that region, you could even theoretically pick a sapphire that's from one of those places.
yeah. And you know what? That brings it to the second idea of value, right? Because it's not just the physical value of something, but it's also just what it means, the intrinsic value of it, right? How you feel about it, what it connects to in terms of the way that you feel about that person or the memories or what it really, the value that you have placed on it.
That is, in my opinion, the biggest value of all of it. It's
Yeah.
how well, you can go out and buy a diamond for yourself, and it's great. I mean, I bought myself a diamond when I started my job as the editor-in-chief of Rapaport Magazine because I wanted to have a diamond, and I wanted a nice diamond since I was running around in the diamond world, and I
Right.
thought for myself. But and that diamond is something that I always wear, and it has a special meaning to me. But my point is that any way you acquire a diamond is going to give it that special meaning, and if it's given as a gift of love, which it generally is,
Right.
that has a whole other level of value to it than the monetary value. I mean, yeah, of course, it's nice to have the big, perfect diamond. Wonderful. But it might not have the same meaning as the smaller, maybe lesser quality stone, because the stone it gets its value from who it came from and why it was given to you.
Agreed. Agreed. You know, and that's what points to, I'm sure you have pieces of jewelry like I do that really have no monetary value, but they're really special to me because of the reason why I got them, right? And you hold on to it and you wear them until you can't wear it anymore. And it doesn't really make sense other than the fact that it's connecting you to that energy or to that the reason why someone that gave that to you, the value, the feeling.
Well, Cheryl, as you know, I recently purchased a black diamond pinky ring from you because
Yes, that's right.
I left a job after 25 years, and that pinky ring symbolizes a new beginning to me. So every time
Right.
I look at it, here, see, I got it on my hand.
Oh, I love that. It's looking good.
Yes. When I look at that, it reminds me that I'm starting something new. This is a new
Mhm.
place to be, and I'm coming from this space. And it's really that to me is more valuable than the actual money that I spent for the diamond because I had wanted, it happens to be a rose cut black diamond. I'd been wanting a rose cut diamond for quite
Right.
some time. And in my head, I had something else that I had visualized completely. But then when I saw your diamond, I was like, that's mine because
Yeah,
the connection that I made to it on an emotional level.
exactly. Well said. And I love that. I do. And I appreciate the fact that you feel so connected to it. And it's something that I made, which also makes me feel really good because I love making pieces of jewelry that people cherish. That to me is the home run. If you wear it, you cherish it, that means that I did my job.
You did your job extremely well. I do it every single day, and I really love it.
Oh, good, good.
But people
So,
feel that same way if your boyfriend proposes to you with a diamond. That diamond is going to have that love in it, and you cannot put a price on that.
agree. I totally agree. So the last quick thing that I wanted to talk about is the issue of metals. Like, you know, everyone's sort of using alternative metals for wedding bands, especially for men. The titanium and the tungsten and these types of metals versus sort of like the precious metals of gold and platinum. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Again, I think whatever somebody likes to personalize their specific ring, I think that's great.
Mhm.
Um, Personally, I would go with platinum for a few reasons. First off, it's a very, very strong metal and it's going to hold your diamond really securely. And we all want our diamond held securely. The
Right,
other thing is because it's a naturally white metal, it does not change the color of the diamond at all. Now,
right,
you have like the yellow prongs on a very white diamond, you can see little flecks of yellow in there. You don't necessarily want that. Same thing with rose gold.
right.
Platinum is very, very durable across time. So
Hmm.
if you have, let's just say you have white gold because you're a white metals person and you want to have a white metal rather than a yellow metal.
Right,
The the white metal or the white gold gets its color in two ways. First off, it's been alloyed in a certain way. Yellow gold has certain white metals that go into it to give it a nice white color, which is
right.
actually a creamy color. But then to get that bright white shiny look that we're all
The
used to,
rhodium. Hmm.
that's dipped in rhodium. But over time, the rhodium starts to wear away and you have to get it re-dipped. The other thing is that with wear and tear, little pieces of gold actually will get lost, whereas platinum just kind of dings and they can polish it out, but you're not actually losing the metal.
Right.
Platinum is very durable, and so for those reasons, I really like platinum. It's also hypoallergenic, which is nice.
Hmm.
You may have
Hmm.
issues with
Hmm.
that. But you know, again, it comes down to personal preference. And I do happen to have a diamond necklace that is made of titanium.
Hmm.
It's quite fun.
Mhm, mhm. Well, I think men like it, like the alternative metals because they feel lighter to them and they can wear them in a wider band because there are a lot of they're very popular in sort of like the wider 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter bands. And it's definitely a distinctive look because it really does show up. A lot of the darker metals show up a lot more than the platinum. But I found also too that after years, the titanium, those alternative metals don't wear as well as the precious metals in terms of durability, right? Even though they're hard, they don't always sort of, you can't polish them. Like you're talking about being able to, you know, repolish platinum. You can't do that with those bands.
No, you cannot do that with titanium. And I can attest to that for sure because I have needed to get some little things taken out of my necklace and
Mhm.
it really can't be polished. It
Yeah,
looks good, but and also it shows fingerprints really a lot. It's
it
been
does.
experience. So I think alternative metals are great and I really like them. And I think they're good if you're not wearing something every single day, I think they're a little more viable. But I think for
Right.
something every single day, you really are better served to use a precious metal that is more durable.
Yeah.
And
Agreed. Yeah.
mishap somewhere.
Yeah, I hear you. So, I just think that's great. I mean, in terms of the value and what we discussed, and it's all about sort of like how you're feeling and what you put into it is really the bigger value, I think.
I agree. It's really about the emotional connection, and it's about having something that you really love and that really expresses who you are. And if it's a diamond that you're buying for yourself, then it's a diamond that expresses who you are as an individual. If it's a diamond that is given to you as an engagement ring, then that is something, or even another stone, that's something that expresses your own individual story together as a couple. And it really bonds you together more because you have this symbol of something that you can actually look at and be reminded every day and every minute of every day of how much you love each other.
Yep, well said. All right, Amber. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. And hopefully we can chat again sometime soon.
Thank you, Cheryl, and I will look forward to that.
All right, sounds good.